Wajaje Nikashia Zani, to all the Osage people, 23,000 now, a long way from those days when we struggled to get to the 2,229 in 1906. The year 2020 was a difficult year. 2021 has also been difficult, mostly because of this COVID pandemic affecting the health of our people, but also the economic damage it has caused. I'm proud to say our Osage people have responded, and we are beating the pandemic. This year, I would like to use a set of slides. We've all been using Zoom and other communication methods, and these slides will give us a highlight of what we are doing. First, I'd like to start with the remarkable work of our health clinic, our health board, Dr. Ron Shaw, our chief medical officer, and the employees. As you can see from the slide on the left, this past Saturday, Osages and other Native Americans have lined up for vaccinations. And on the right, you see the vaccinations being delivered. Our people are working hard to make sure we all have access to vaccinations. Many of our people have decided not to take the vaccination for their own personal reasons. I have selected to take both vaccinations, and I encourage those who have questions to call Dr. Shaw and our clinic or consult with your own medical provider. If you can be here, we have now thousands of doses ready to administer. Moving to the future, we have seen that our people responded so well, and the business of the clinic is so strong that we need to discuss creating a new Osage Nation healthcare system. In order to do this, I have been working with Congresswoman Paula Stabler, our health board, Dr. Shaw, attorneys, architects, and others to grow our health system into a new facility with new capabilities. This process now requires the Osage Nation to consent to what we are trying to do. A bill was introduced for this next session beginning March 29, and we hope the Osage Congress will support the efforts we're making. The Osage Nation Health Fund provides a health card to all who apply that are members of the Osage Nation. Currently, we have 13,056 members enrolled in the health card. Those age 64 and under are almost 12,000 members. 65 and over, just over 1,000 members. Separately, we have the health supplement for those Osages over 65 years of age. The Plan F has over 1,000 members. This is a first-class Medicare supplement. Plan D is the Medicare prescription program. All of these programs are fully funded and will continue to be fully funded. Early on last year, we visited many communities of the Osage throughout the country. Many great ideas were provided to us. One we heard in every community was a request for the Osage Nation to invest in the people directly through a bank, credit union, or other viable financial institution. Looking at the models throughout the country and Oklahoma, we found that the best models follow the path of a community development financial institution, a CDFI. We have done our work and are now asking the Congress to act to get the nation fully engaged in this process where wherever you live in the United States, you can apply for a consumer loan for your house, for your own personal loans, for your vehicles, and other normal financial transactions. We hope that Congress approves this proposal in the next session. The assets, liabilities, and net position of the Osage Nation is strong. The COVID has caused some delays in reporting, and our auditors are not concerned, and they are working on the 2020 audit. We are on a federal fiscal year where each fiscal year begins October 1. I've asked our people and the auditors to provide us a year-by-year graph of our assets, liabilities, and net position. As you can see, there is growth, and we have continued to grow from 2017, 2018, and 2019. Although the COVID hit us hard economically in 2020, my indications are from the auditors is that we will see continued growth. And next year, with the plans we have in place, we should see even stronger growth. Those are reflected in the actual numbers and our audited numbers. These are not made up numbers. When we look at the primary government expenditures in 2019, we see that we have spent, as we expected, most of our funding on health. And this was by design. We also see that our big expenditures occur in education, which we expected. But I want to point out how little we spend on culture and language. Culture and language are cornerstones of us moving forward as a people unique from others. Our Osage language and our traditions are endangered and have been for decades. Our culture team and language team and our schools are working against that tide of elimination to forward us into the future. In order to fund our programs, we know federal funding has been declining for many years, and we are still working on grants and other ways to obtain federal funds. Tribal funding is primarily gaming. And as you can see, this year, gaming distributions are $46 million. Our tax commission, where our license plates and tobacco taxes are assessed, provides the Osage Nation this year $2,275,000. Program income, that is income from fees and other activities of departments, total $2,513,000, and interest is $250,000. The clinic and third-party income from Medicare, third-party insurance, and other funding, we project at $5 million for this year. From these funds, we make expenditures. You can see the $48,090,000 to the executive branch. This includes our health fund, all of our health cards, our scholarship funds, and all the programs that we run at Osage Nation. The legislative branch, judicial branch, Minerals Council, Great Horse Village, Hominy Village, Pahuska Village, all add up to a total budget of about $51 million. I can report that gaming has informed me that the numbers for next year will be substantially higher from what they have this year as we recover from the COVID. The Osage Nation Ranch is doing well. It is growing on its own, and the new COVID funding that we have invested is making it grow faster. We have over 2,000 head of cattle. We have 100 head of bison, and we have added 42 miles of new fencing. Here you see a photo of a commercial scale where trucks loaded with cattle and unloaded with cattle or bison can be weighed. This is the cement foundation, and you will see pictures of the completed scale once we have that installed. The funding we received from the federal government for the COVID response was put to great use. We need food sovereignty. That is the ability to feed ourselves. Coupled with the ranch, harvest land, formerly Bird Creek Farms, gives us this capability. You will see on the left a large building, and that includes areas for processing of produce, and then towards the section closer to us will be our very large aquaponics farm producing food 12 months a year. On the right, you will see our brand new greenhouses, which are state of the art. These greenhouses will keep us well fed and with healthy food. And first will be our children's programs, our elders programs, and those that are truly in need. A commercial arm is being developed. Inside the greenhouses, you can see these are brand new, and in just a few months, we will be sharing photos of what that produce looks like. Here's a picture of where the aquaponics farm will go. Our people have been working with Oklahoma State University and other universities, and we have retained top management, and we have great people working in these areas. Osage Nation Meat Processing is another investment that we have made. This is truly an amazing accomplishment. The best meat processing plant for a tribe in the country. As some of you may remember, last year when I was told we did not have enough meat for our children, I was shocked knowing that there were 2,000 head of cattle just a few miles away. Why couldn't we provide meat for our children? Well, as it turns out, the USDA inspection systems and other food chain issues have to be resolved. This is how we're resolving it. The first bison for meat has been processed, not before prayers were said by the people that were there. And it was an emotional experience that none of us will ever forget. But this bison is feeding our children and our elderly, as we have done for thousands of years. Again, our culture and language teams are the future of this nation. Our children are winning awards for their efforts in presenting our language. Our staff is working with top consultants in interactive applications for the internet. You will see our DePosca Oncotape, the school for our children in immersion, is going strong. I'm glad to report that last week we finished our interviews with the accreditation group, and we have been told we will be receiving a passing grade and will be fully accredited. In the meantime, when you see our children from the school in a grocery store in Pawhuska or at the dances, be prepared to respond to them in Osage, because they will be talking to you. As we said earlier, we put a lot of money into higher education. It's my belief that we can have a first-rate education and maintain our language and culture. You will see from these statistics that we have nearly 1,000 students enrolled, and we have awarded millions of dollars in scholarships. This scholarship program is fully funded and will continue to be fully funded. Something you'll be hearing about here in a month or two is the Eco Park. The team at the Natural Resource Roads Department and others have been working together to take this land, clear it out, and create walking trails. This park will be used by the general public, and as you can see, it covers an area near Burr Creek Farms and very close to the city of Pawhuska. The new funding from the federal government should include allowable costs for us to continue development of the eco park, including outdoor classrooms, playground equipment for the children, gazebos, and a monarch butterfly refuge area. Our people are very good at responding to emergencies to assist the people. Here are some photographs of our wildland fire team, and they are some of the best and bravest people you will ever meet. Along with our Osage police, they provide the protection here in our homeland, and they are outstanding at what they do. The Minerals Council manages our nearly 1.5 million acre mineral estate. Under our Constitution, the Minerals Council operates as an independent agency from the principal chief. However, I can, from my position, support them. All they have to do is present a plan that does not rely on the Bureau of Indian Affairs for management. We will maintain the trust relationship established by treaty and the 1906 Act and subsequent acts of Congress, but the management by the BIA has been a disaster. I'm supporting the Minerals Council and those members who wish to go forward so we can manage the property that our people bought in 1872 with our own money. Water rights is an issue we have been working hard on. We have a top-notch legal team and engineering team in negotiations with the state of Oklahoma. This coming session of Congress, we will be announcing some of the first developments. This one having to do with the city of Enid, Oklahoma, accessing water out of the Kaw Lake. These kinds of battles take years. The best way to do it is to get your science and your law together and present it to the opposition. In this case, that would be the state and other users of water, and then be prepared to go to court. Litigation is very expensive. We are looking for the best results for the people. Employees at Osage Nation number less than 500. The casino employees are separate from the government. These 500 employees at the government carry out the programs we are talking about. Almost 7 years ago, 2/3 of the employees were not members of Osage Nation. As you can see, that has changed. We are continuing to make sure we have the best employees and Osages receiving preference in employment. After the Osages receive that preference, we are now looking at members of our traditional grouping of people called the Dehiga. Those of you that have studied the history and archaeology know that at one time we were one tribe with the Omaha, Kaw, Ponca, and Quapaw. We are not spending any revenue on these tribes. They have their own governments, but we do recognize after the Osage preference that we were one tribe and we should unite eventually in the future with our language and culture again as we were thousands of years ago and into recent history. Reestablishing our presence in our Missouri homeland is difficult. The treaties of 1808, 1825, and the attitudes behind them still are part of history. We hope an enlightened group of citizens of Missouri will understand as we seek to establish new gaming opportunities. We know the opposition is strong. Our gaming people have put an offer on one site out of the 5 we have been looking at. We are continuing relationships with the other 4, but we need to start carefully and we need to proceed knowing the political and economic conditions. This will go forward. What has been called the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 will be enacted into law, and we are working with the various federal agencies to find out how, again, to access this money for you, the Osage people. We have a wonderful team together of employees and consultants, and we will get every bit of the funding we can obtain. The state of the nation is strong. We continue to grow. 2020 was difficult. 2021 has great promise. We know how to obtain the best for our people. It is very difficult. It takes all of our people working together to move forward. Negativity is contagious, but so is positive thinking. I call upon the Osage people to be positive and to assist each other in every way. It's an honor to serve you, and God bless the Osage Nation.